What's happening? It's Chris Hall here. You are now tuned into the Chris Hall Show, where we discuss dating, relationships, and much, much more. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as you come on in. Everybody gather round. We're going to give it a few more minutes. There's some people in here. All right. But dearly beloved, we are gathered here today. We'll be talking about what is a strong black woman. As you know, I've been releasing the last live podcast that we had last week, and I've been releasing them in series, and I've also been talking about them. I'll stop this here. Hold on. And I've also been talking about them as they drop. So today we're going to do a little bit of the same. I'm going to be reviewing the playback from the live podcast that we had, which was awesome, by the way. As you've all been seeing the footage drop, let me know. We're always trying to get better over here at the Chris Hall Show. We got a lot of people working with us, making sure that everything is A-OK. So, without further ado, I guess we can do some spring cleaning here. Make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell so you are notified anytime that I drop some new content. Make sure as you come in, you hit the like button, give your boy a thumbs up. Also, the Chris Hall Show is now in podcast form. Eloquently called the Chris Hall Podcast, is available for download on all streaming platforms. Make sure that you go get that. It's a much more intimate conversation. Just me and you. Yeah, I'll be having some guests too. All right. Let's see. Switch over here. All right. Okay. Let's get right into it in 3, 2, 1. Roll it. This ain't juice. Next question. What is a strong black woman? And once you define it, can you name someone who is not a strong black woman?
How long we got?
How long? I mean, it's not the time.
Okay, hey.
You can break it down.
Okay. Go ahead and start.
I know everyone in this room would say their mother is a strong black woman because you've seen her time and time again.
Is that a guarantee that just by virtue of being your mama, that she's a strong black woman? This is going to get very, very interesting. I'm so glad that you all came here to watch it. Because this was my thing on it, and you'll see as the video goes on, is by virtue of just being a woman of color, are you therefore a strong black woman? Because I feel like we go straight to the moms, right? So because you are a mother, that makes you a strong black woman. But this will contradict soon enough.
I don't know if y'all came from money. I didn't. 3 kids. My mother, she did it all. And not to blink an eye, I still had all the Jordans. I still had every sporting event. She still was putting money up. I don't even, now that I know what money is and being older, I don't know how she did it with 3 kids. And we were not missing anything, not missing meals.
Yes.
So It's kind of tough. Then you watch your grandma do it. And then now, me personally, I go into the work place. I actually work in construction, and I'm like the only black female in a 10-mile radius doing what I do. And these people hate me. I don't know. It's nothing I can do. Nice.
So it seems like, as she's telling the story, it's as if a strong black woman equals a struggle. So it's almost like you have to struggle in some way, shape, or form in order to be strong, because she said that she did not come from money. They struggled, 3 kids, never missed a meal. She doesn't even know how her mom does it. Her mom's superwoman, which is fine. But are we saying just by that makes you strong? If you worked hard and you did come from money, but you worked hard to get to where you are, it wasn't just handed to you per se. Are you a strong black woman at that point? Because it seems like this, as she goes on from the example she's using, it has some struggle attached to it. Am I tripping? What y'all think?
Come up smiling, and it's tough. Every day is a fight. Every day I have to tell somebody, like, my degree got me here, but I mean business, and I'm here to work, and no one takes me serious.
So that's I get, that was nice. I will say that. But what is a strong black woman? What are the characteristics?
We can list.
Yeah, we can get a
bullet
list.
points. Just bullet points.
That was a great story.
You take everything that's thrown at you, and you do not fold. And
you're resilient.
Yes.
Yeah.
Resilience.
Okay.
So you just have to be resilient. That's it.
What else?
Tenacity. Faithful.
Willpower. Right.
Faithful.
Praying. God-fearing.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
You asked for the list.
Yeah.
So God-fearing also can get you into the strong black woman conference.
No, I'm gonna let somebody interject.
That was nice. Okay, so that's your definition of a strong black woman.
So now name. She has to name.
Oh, name someone who is not a strong black woman.
Sacrifice.
Like China?
This is the internet. This is the internet.
Okay.
This is live.
What's trying to have kids?
Okay.
What's trying to have kids?
I'm sure.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So
Just how you make your money is fine?
no. I was just asking because, like you said,
Isn't that strong?
I'm just saying because,
I
like,
don't know how far back my mother didn't do it. My mother didn't have to go to jail.
No, I was
go
just
to jail for anything she did to get us money.
I was just saying, like you said, like everybody in this room was like, he was like, oh, I know.
So would that be a struggle, y'all? If you do dabble in the life of crime, let's say, I don't know, what are we blaming on? The environment, lack of a father, slavery, that you decided to take up a life of crime, and you persevered through prison and reformed yourself, came out and became a fully functional citizen, a product to society. I mean, what's more resilient than going to jail and coming back a free woman? Makes sense to me.
Everybody in this room would say, your mom's strong black woman.
Because she put everything she had.
Well, I'm just saying that,
Oh,
like you saying, Black China's not a strong black woman.
Here's the good one. Can a mother not? I guess that's.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, how do you know somebody
And
your
that's what I
mom
said.
ain't like Black China?
Yeah.
Right. Or what if my mom was a kingpin or something?
Yeah.
She
Right.
ain't a strong black woman?
That's tough. I mean, if she go to jail, that's strong to you. She held it down.
Well, no, I'm saying the point.
I'm just saying she did have, at some point she can compromise her holding it down for the family. That's tough.
Okay, so you said Black China's not a strong black woman.
She said what she said.
You gave me one.
I'm just verifying.
I'm just saying when your kid grows up and they may be ashamed of what you did to get the money to support them.
But why would
So would you say that's
it
for
doesn't
strippers?
make her not strong? Right. And why
So
would
does that mean all
why would
strippers
they
are,
be
no,
ashamed?
if you're a stripper, you're not a strong black woman?
So that's what we're trying to find out.
I'm just trying to find the line.
Is being
You
a
asked
strong
me.
black woman
Yeah.
by virtue of you just being a woman? That's it. That's
I
what
don't
we're
have
trying to find
anything
out.
against strippers, that's fine. But if my child grew up and been ashamed of me, if I was a stripper and my child was ashamed of me, that's my choice. That wasn't my
So
choice.
hold on, but the question is, does that mean you're not a strong black woman if you went and stripped to
Yeah.
feed your kids?
Does your occupation?
Just because you're
What do y'all think? Would that not be resilient? I mean, Diamond in Players Club was a stripper. Okay. She stripped her way through school. Would Diamond from Players Club be a strong black woman? So that's how convoluted this term is. It's very ambiguous, and you don't really have a grasp on it. You know what strong black woman is the equivalent of? A man calling himself a real nigga. Who is to determine that you are a real nigga? What are the parameters? What are the characteristics of a real nigga? Similar to a strong black woman. Is it just something we say? You know? Is it something we say? Like bless you when you sneeze, you know? Is it one of those?
Yeah, so you're saying, forget the fact that you stripped to feed your kids if your kids are later ashamed of the fact
But
that you stripped.
it wasn't even only stripping. Like there's
Are you
video
saying like morally
recordings.
what we see?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was video recordings where she said she robbed a man and all that. But that's fine.
right.
Like, that's why I said criminal activity.
Yeah.
That's
Right, okay, right.
Yeah.
No, I don't disagree. That's why I was just saying,
Yeah.
like, at the beginning of the thing, she said, okay, I'm sure everybody in here is strong. Black China's somebody's mom. So if somebody in here
From
is
their
our
point
mom.
of view, their mom would be a strong black woman. So yes, I still meant that.
So that means for the most part, not only is the term strong black woman ambiguous, it's also then subjective on top of that. So now a strong black woman is also in the eyes of the beholder. Okay. It's still subjective.
Okay, so you're doing
So being a strong black woman might still be a little.
Yeah.
Ruby, you have a question?
No, say
Absolutely.
that again.
You have a question?
No, what'd you say?
Oh, I said, what did I say?
It's
Being a strong
subjective.
black woman is subjective.
Yes, being a strong black woman can be subjective, seemingly.
I think it's fully subjective.
That's what I'm.
That's
what I'm
what I'm
And her right, I don't think
Because
Black
Because
China
we didn't make it up.
respected for what she did, but it's not that. I mean, somebody else in here might agree with the way Black China held it down for her kids.
yeah, because it's not. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, it's not like there's not like I guess like a correct definition of it, which makes it subjective. You know what I mean?
That's why. So it's almost like it's would it be a euphemism or just an ambiguous word or what? Strong black woman,
or really just you have to ask what's your idea of a strong black woman, and you can't say that person is right or wrong
Right.
for
There's
saying
no
that.
rubric that
Right,
identifies
right.
what a strong person is.
Because my mom,
why everyone can say they are a strong black woman.
So is it something to be proud of, to be something that isn't even defined? Go ahead, Keon. You see that? You see how silent that was? It was silent because I understand that being a strong black woman is similar to the comparison I gave you to being a real nigga, right? Similar. Cool. No problem with that. But when you get right down to it, it's really just subjective.
I think yes, because not to change the subject, but it's also one of those things about you can
Be proud of to be something that isn't even defined? Being proud of something that's not even defined. Because being a strong black woman is something that women hold it. They have shirts made out of it. I've seen it on people's profiles. It's something to be proud of, but there's no definition for it. I can see if you're proud to be a Christian, if you're proud to be a police officer, if you're proud to be a registered nurse, if you're proud to be Pacific Islander, whatever. That's something that can be defined. But to be proud of something with no definition, write in the comment section if there's something that you know of to be proud of with no definition. Let me know some things that you can be proud of with no definition.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Keon.
I think yes, because not to change the subject, but it's also one of those things about you can easily correlate that with happiness. Happiness isn't defined. Happiness is what you make it.
Right.
Your strength is what you consider
Yes.
your strength, right? You could be a man or a woman who, let's go with the stripper example, or just doing what they have to do on a day-to-day basis, right, to support their family. However, maybe how you go about that pursuit could identify as weakness or strength.
Okay.
You could be
The journey is
your journey, right? I mean, you could be crying every day about it. To some, you being weak about it. Do what you gotta do.
Right.
Or others might be like, "No, I'm gonna do what I gotta do to support my family," and this is attitude,
By any means necessary.
will, drive, right?
Right.
How much you been expressing?
I did not answer yet. I kind of struggle with the terminology "strong black woman" because I agree that it is subjective and it depends on the how the individual personifies that, right? But I also feel like this might open up a can of worms, but don't sigh, it's okay. I feel like maybe sometimes women are tired of like having to be strong black women. You know what I mean?
Are y'all really tired of being strong black women? Honestly, I personally thought this was cap. Now, I get the narrative to where she might be going with it, right? So, single mother, working 3 jobs, the whole spiel, right? As if this doesn't happen to men and women. But obviously, it's looked at a little different when it comes to women. Why, may you ask, is it looked a little bit differently with women? Because people know, and this also may ruffle some feathers. People know the role of a woman. Let me say this. Is this thing on? We good? People know the role of a woman. So when you step outside of that role and decide to step in a more masculine role in the workforce, right? I'm talking about old times. I get it. You're going to say I'm a misogynistic, patriotic, and all the bad things in the Bible, a male chauvinist, this, that, and the third. I want women back barefoot, pregnant, and having children. I understand. I get it. But one thing I do know is that you know the role, because you wouldn't have said that. To me, that's why the moniker of strong black woman exists. It exists because we know the role that you're supposed to be playing of a housewife, a helpmeet, all this praying and faith and all this stuff. Listen, I'm not one to be Bible thumping, but what I do know is a wife is supposed to be the helpmeet to a man. He who findeth a wife findeth a good thing. This means that you are a wife when I find you. I hear this get misconstrued so much. I mean, so much. If you are who you say you are, then why wouldn't you prepare yourself to be what the man that you want is looking for? So all this stuff that I hear about, we're tired of being strong and we're tired of being this. I don't believe it, because everything I see online is pushing women further and further and further away from men and into the workforce. They want you to go to school more. Every billboard you see a woman going to college and them telling you DeVry or Phoenix Online or whatever, trying to get you to get more and more degrees. Riddle me this, Batman. What degree do you need to be a housewife and a helpmeet to your husband? What degree do you need? Do you need a PhD for that? No, you don't necessarily need a PhD for that. But you go out and do it anyway. You want to be entrepreneurs. You want to start your own business. You want to travel. You want to do this, that, and the third. So I don't believe 1 second that women are tired of being strong. I don't believe it because I don't see it. I don't see it. Listen, I'm going to challenge you. Go on your Instagram, your regular Instagram, not the pages that you follow, just the people that you know. Scroll up and down your Instagram, because let's face it, in 2022 and for a long time now, Instagram is what we look at to see the world. Okay? We can obviously go out in the street, but the Instagram gives us a little bit more reach, right? Scroll down your Instagram and stop when you see a woman cooking on Instagram. Stop when you see a woman doing something for a man or telling the world. Listen to this. Remember, women used to be giddy on their first date with whomever. Not their first date ever, but they used to be giddy to where they used to tell people they're going on their first date. It used to be so, oh my God, I'm going on a first date. Remember that? Scroll on your Instagram, a woman saying that she's meeting a guy for the first time, or she's been talking to some guy for a little bit and she's enjoying his company. You don't see that type of stuff. You don't see women cooking. You don't see women happy being housewives, doing homely stuff, helping their man. You don't see that type of stuff. Everything you see is independent, in your face, rude, raunchy, ratchet. And I'm sorry, ladies, this isn't, I don't want it to be this way, but this is public programming. That's what's on TV. That's what we see. That's what we see in the streets. This is Atlanta. You know what goes on here. Let's go back to the video.
So, I'm sure I said, I knew I was going to open the can of worms, but it's just like,
Right.
yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how I want to unpack that. Go ahead.
Alright, so about the bigger can of worms, like the ones you get from Sam's and shit, like the big ass. So let me ask this. So, where's the line between?
Are y'all liking sorry to cut him off there. Are y'all liking the format with the crowd being kind of behind the camera to where it kind of still gives you a kind of an intimate look? Why is this thing down there? I did not know that was there. I got to take that off, y'all. There's a logo right over my damn face. But anyway, do y'all like the crowd in the back? I guess I can move myself to the other side, but I like being on this side. Do y'all like the crowd being towards the back to where you can't see the crowd? Because it is a private event, so I thought that was a good addition to not show the crowd. Keep the crowd discreet, okay? Because you'll see later on, I do have a story to share with you. Her identity is unknown, and I think that's what makes this portion of the Chris Hall show so organic, is that you are in a private room. I invite certain people to come on the panel so you all have something to look at, and there's a core group of people discussing certain topics, but the crowd, I think, is the most organic part of this whole series that we're doing.
A woman's strength and quote unquote dominance. Right? I asked that question, right, because I feel like when it comes down to a woman's like nowadays, just in my opinion, right? You know, I feel like a lot of women, presumably in our culture, correlate strength with trying to be dominant or dominant over particular circumstances and handling circumstances, and then that ties into a relationship and coexisting with a man whose job is, now I don't want to say job, but whose preference, job, or however you want to kind of describe that, or natural, or his innate feelings are to fulfill that role. So that conflict comes.
Now I'll pause it here. Now, warning. This is a gang of word salad. I know y'all were listening and you was like, what is this Negro talking about? I understand it's a bunch of word salad, but just to compartmentalize it a little bit for you, to reel this mofo in, what he means by that, or what I believe he means, I mean, this is him telling it, but the way I received it is that when women think of themselves being strong, sometimes it can be overpowering a man, or some are being equal to one. And that can come off very masculine, as I've seen y'all talking about in the comment section, to where when women carry themselves as single, like he said, in our culture, single, black, strong, independent women, it's almost like a cloak of armor to where you go into battle with a man. And that's one of the conflicts, is that we're not here to battle you. We want to receive you. But we don't want to be, jockeying for position, if you will. We don't want to be, pushing and pulling to try to get some type of order or submission established in the relationship. There has to be some type of order. Remember, you all are the ones who call yourself Christians. So let's follow the good book somewhat. Okay? Let's follow some of them. I mean, until you become a better Christian, but there is an order in things. And there's see, what we've done is we've normalized chaos. Let me say this again for the people in the back. We have normalized chaos in relationships, to where sometimes I'll be in relationships where everything is going just fine, but the woman, for some reason, finds some type of issue with what's going on. Why? I don't know. And mind you, it happens too often for me to believe that you do it on purpose at this point. I've gotten too much experience, which is why I started this show, because I feel like I have a vast amount of experience when it comes to dating in women. So who better to hear from than me? But I don't know, man. I just don't recall seeing stuff like this. We've normalized chaos to where order is almost, you would call it a bad name. You would call me a bad name when I talk about the order of things, or if I talk about gender roles. I can't recall the last time I've heard gender roles spoken about in a positive light. Gender roles is more of a taboo thing here, because what happens as we progress as a country, especially, I don't want to get too political on you because this isn't a political channel. As we, I'm putting quotations, progress as a nation, we start to erase those lines that kind of, separated us in a hierarchy of genders. We try to make everything exactly the same, and that's when you have these issues, okay? You go into business with a partner, and even that's a relationship of some sort. But I won't get too deep into that because that's another topic for another show for another day. We're gonna get back into this.
In where there's a misidentification.
But this is a gang of word salad. Just want to let y'all know. But he had a good point here. Just I wanna highlight that even though it's word salad, when you put it all together, it made a very good point.
Between strength and what dominance is and how that correlates to a relationship, even though we're not talking about relationships right now.
So it's kind of like when what he would say is he would have a problem when your strength overpowers his at that point, right?
Not necessarily. That's not necessarily what I'm saying. It's more
It's
so.
just like literally what you said. Where's the line between
strength and dominance.
Yeah.
Said Jen, there are women who want to play their role. Nice, Orlandria. That's true. They're all out there. It's rare. Let's see, Janae. Yeah, but maybe more mics for the crowd. Yes. So what I want to do is get a visual. I don't think I'm going to do Instagram Live anymore. I think we're going to shoot a standard 16:9 ratio and just record it so we have the raw footage, and then when I get back, I'm gonna cut it, chop it, and everything like that. But we're gonna most likely put one of those mics in the crowd. So when someone has a question, we can either pass it around or just have them come up or something like that. But it's gonna get better. That's a good one. We're definitely working on that. Let's get back to it.
If I may respond, who really knows where the line is, right? Because I think the issue is that women, black women, we'll just call it like it is, instead of in our culture, black women have been placed in positions to where they do have to sometimes carry the load and they do have to be the strength for their family unit. And, you know, there's countless scenarios and situations that we can like kind of bring to the table. So naturally that does create, maybe subconsciously or purposely, a level of dominance and strength, right? So whenever a woman is placed in a situation to where she has to kind of, I guess, subdue that dominance or subdue that strength, I feel like that takes accountability on both parts, right? Like, oh, okay. Should I stop? Okay. To where the man in the relationship, right? The man that she's dealing with needs to understand, you know, maybe like prior history, background, why she acts the way that she acts. And then vice versa. The woman has to understand the man and his background and where he comes from. And then together they can figure out what works for them. But I don't think it should be an automatic like, oh, we in a relationship, girl, and I'm the man. So you need to like subdue that dominance.
Well,
like it's a work in progress.
So, you know, I'm definitely about to jump in here because that triggers me. I don't like. I'll just say that I don't like when. Not that I don't like this person, but I don't like when women look at relationships so negatively. They look at structured relationships so negatively, to where when a man it's weird because it's like women will talk out both sides of their mouths. Not her in particular, but they'll talk out both sides of their mouths and they'll say that they want a strong man to take the lead, but then you also have to accept her dominance as well. You can't be too overbearing. She's not going to be that submissive. She's still. I mean, come on, man. Honestly, which one do y'all want? I cannot take the lead with you beside me. Let me say that again for the kids in the back. I cannot take the lead with you beside me, and especially not in front of me. Okay? Only one person can drive a car at a time. Okay? Only one person. So it's just so strange when I hear, and I always joke about this. how women go from Babyface to Ike Turner. There's nothing in between. Nothing. It's two extremes. It's always two extremes, to where we have to be overbearing, like she was illustrating there, to where it was don't be done, like the finger pointing and this, that, and the third. And I think psychologically that's a problem with women. Not saying that you might not have had the lived experience, but I'm going to say most of you have not had the lived experience of what you all are talking about. I'm going to be quite honest with you. I think there is a defiance in women to where they do not, it's almost impossible for a man to lead. So you go back and you go, through this merry-go-round of relationships or partnerships that don't necessarily work because you're going against the rightful order. And that's fine. You all can push against the grain all you want. The problem is your clock is ticking, ours isn't. I'll be quite honest with you, I'm sure I've said this before, I am 37 years young today. And to be quite honest with you, I am at my prime right now. In my 20s, I garnered women, okay? But I have never garnered as many women as I have in my mid to late 30s. Okay, not to say that I date all these women or anything like that. I'm just talking about attract the amount of women, because you have to understand, by the time a man is this age, he's making decent money. He has his head on straight. He has a certain credit score. He's probably purchased a property by now. What else have we done? We've moved up in the corporate ladder. We have found ourselves. We have our strive. We have goals that we're currently achieving. We may have crossed off a couple goals by now. And women can smell that, fellas. Fellas who are on that path and have that type of gravitas know exactly what I'm talking about. As we get older, we get better. And that's not to rub it in you all's faces or we get older, we get better. We just have this gender war back and forth to see who's better, men or women. That makes no sense. We both need each other. So what sense does that make for us? If I say men are better than women, then what? Then what? I don't know about you, but I don't want no niggas around me. I like women around me. I don't like niggas around me. So why would I say that men are just better than we both need each other, but we have to know the proper order of things.
So to that point,
Why do women go all the way to Ike Turner when they talk about men?
What?
All the way there.
Do you feel like I would act?
Yes.
Anybody else feel like Thank you, because I don't feel like I went to Ike Turner either. I was just saying, like, backgrounds. Everyone has to understand each other's backgrounds, upbringings, like experiences. All of that comes together whenever you're in a relationship with someone.
Go ahead,
So to your point, right? You kind of low key segued into the difference because you kind of gave the example of niggas. Oh, you gonna do what the fuck I'm saying?
Right.
But at the same time, so bear with me on this, right? So identifying that difference between being submissive and obedient, and I think there's a fucked up misunderstanding of what that looks like and what that actually means, and it's unfortunate.
So you're saying there's a difference between submission and obedience?
There is a difference between
absolutely.
Submissive, in my opinion, submissiveness comes with a sense of a individual willingly
Security,
willingly putting themselves in a position to be submissive to someone, when obedience is low key like a dictatorship. When there's an expectation that you're going to because of a say so.
Right.
So with that being said, I feel like it's low key fucked up on both sides, because in our culture, black women, you mentioned it, right? When you bring up the word submissive, it's like a trigger. I'm not gonna bow down to you or cave to you or listen to what you have to say. And it could be to some capacity a survival instinct or a defensive mechanism or just that dominant piece that we spoke of. But then on the other side, you have men who don't understand the difference between being submissive and obedient as well, and they take that submissiveness and they mishandle it and they treat it as if she's supposed to be obedient.
Correct. But isn't submission? I feel like goes with security. If he's not going to provide security, it's really tough. That
I'm not going to be right.
But by definition,
if you talking 50-50, you're not providing me security. So why am I?
Okay, let me. Hold on. But didn't you just say that you want an average husband?
right?
So how is he gonna? I'm sure you make more than average.
Ooh, Chris.
So if you want an average husband, and so you saying you want a husband, you have to submit to it.
I didn't say that.
You just said.
I said security.
So this is what we just proved just then. We proved that women will talk highly of men when they're forced to, as far as in public, they're on camera. So they will talk highly of men and say, "Oh, I like an average man." If you've seen on the episode before this, to where they were talking about average, and she said she wanted an average man, and she looked at an average man as someone she can come home to, which was weird, just saying a woman coming home to a man. You gotta listen for these key clues, ladies and gentlemen. You have to listen for these key clues, to where on the last video she said someone she can come home to. So we thought that, okay, well, she's cool with a man making below the amount of money she made. But as we fast forward into the submission portion of a woman to a man, you can see that women are not willing to submit to someone 50-50, or especially someone who makes less than them. We just proved this right now. If you look at the last video and then jump to this portion right here in this video, we will see that, for one, she also thought that average was 80,000, which was 100% incorrect. But yet and still, she proved that she's not submitting to no 50-50 or no her making more than you. That's how you know that modern women today would not settle with your average man, not realizing that just being above average is also rare. You're talking about 15%. And then you're talking about the exceptional. Now you're in the single digits at this point. I don't know where you all think these men are. I'll be quite honest with you. It was a room full of single women. Okay? Full of single women. And what's funny is that you ladies go out. I remember story time. I went out on a date one time, and this young lady, she watched my shows. She knew me at that point. We had just started talking for the most part. And we walked into this lounge. I won't say where exactly. We walked into this lounge, and we walked in, and we went to the hostess, asked if there was any seating. There wasn't, so we had to find 2 open seats at the bar. And she turned around and kind of scoped the scene, and she was like, "Wow, I never realized how many single women are in Atlanta." It was literally mind you, this is a nice established, like a nice restaurant. This ain't like a Twin Peaks or a sports bar you may hang out with your buddies at. This was a nice restaurant filled with women at every it had to be every table. Almost no men in sight. So you all know that it is tough to get a man, period. And mind you, I'm talking about Atlanta. It may be better other places. I don't know. I've only lived in Miami and Atlanta. I've been to a few places in my day, but I couldn't tell you how it is to date. If it's different where you're from, let me know. Drop a comment and let us know how it is dating in, I don't know, Ottawa or something. I don't know, Nova Scotia, LA, Vermont, Virginia. Let me know.
So security is different.
What's security? Is good?
It's not my protection and my peace at home. My security.
right.
Okay, define security.
Somebody that I can go home
So,
to and
Wait,
I get my peace.
Are we gonna sit here and play like you're not talking about financial security?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Are we gonna pretend
Wait,
financial
wait, wait,
security
wait.
is not like the most important form of security in this?
Again, as you heard in the background, this wasn't the girl up front anymore. This is someone in the back who also said somebody who I can come home to. So this just shows you that these aren't housewives. Nobody wants to be a housewife no more. Nobody wants to raise children. Everyone wants to go to work. Everyone wants to go to work and come home. For what exactly? What are you working so hard for? Let's say you do find a man who's making $85,000 a year. You tell me you can't downsize to raise your kids and get that stress up off your back and help your man out around the house? No, you both want to get up and go to work at the same time and come back home at the same time. Ain't no food. Y'all eating hungry man TV dinners and all type of foolishness. Now, I know there are going to be some upset wives in the comment section telling me all the stuff that they do. I don't care. You shouldn't have to. That's where the strong black woman thing comes from. You should not have to do that. But what you would do is you will force yourself to do it because, I don't know, you still want some type of value in the world. So you want to go out work, or you guys just want to make a boatload of money to go on vacations when you got kids. Where are you going exactly? But I get it. I get it. You all equate strong black woman with the struggle. And I'm sorry to hear that because I don't want to see y'all struggle. I don't. Contrary to popular belief. I don't want to see you struggle, but I don't want you to hold these struggles as a badge of honor and call yourself a strong black woman instead of the former, which is become a housewife for some. Listen, men can use housewives. Not a gang of people can use partners. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that there's no place for you. There's men who do want partners. 100%. 100%. Why am I? Get over here. My bad, y'all. Sorry. There I go. All right. I'm back. Yeah. There are men out there looking for partners. But one would say that there are more men looking for housewives. And this is all men. This isn't just germane to black men. All men. All men.
In this reality
world.
is financial security is like the number
I just
one.
told you.
Let's
I
be
feel
real
like
here.
men with a lot of money cheat more than regular men.
That's what
So
I was thinking. Okay, so your security is pure emotional.
Not very. It's a lot.
It's
Factor
levels,
into it.
right.
Give me some.
Yeah. If he doesn't make a lot of money, but I know he's gonna be faithful. I know he's gonna be a good father. I know that.
Define a lot of money. Like when you think of the average man, the amount of money that
But
the average
he
man
just
makes.
told me that obviously he's gonna pay the bills, right? So you gotta make it like 80 or more.
That's not average.
That's not
It's already not average.
That's not
That's not
average.
average.
That's the point that I was trying to
45 is average.
It's already not average.
Let's define average.
Average is
Yeah.
40,000.
45 is average.
Yeah, 45 is average.
Let's actually do a Google.
Yeah, you mean the
How you gonna and then put that
Hold on. Remember that they say that the average man can afford a $400
Let's
restaurant.
ask Google.
You heard that, right?
How much do you think the average black man makes?
Yeah, thank
Okay,
you.
okay.
Are you crazy?
Where- okay.
Are you insane? The average black man makes like $40,000.
Right.
If
But
that.
I'm not in this city.
Okay,
so
so
it's
we're just
just
gonna wait.
That's even worse. So that's in there lies the rug. There is that most women, due to not necessarily having to look this up, So I'm not saying you all aren't smart or something like that. I think this is just the furthest from your wheelhouse, is finding out how much men make, how much these professions that these men are telling you make. You all don't know what the average person makes in America, especially the average black man, if that's what you're attracted to and you're not willing to date outside your race. And as you've seen, the young lady next to me, when she heard that, she was floored. She put her hat over her head like, oh my God, I can't believe that niggas is this broke. Yes, niggas is broke. And the proof is in the pudding. Now, I wish it wasn't that like that. I wish we all made more money. But that's not the case. The average black man makes about $38,000 to $40,000 a year, to where a white man, I think, is at like 43 or something like that. These are actual statistics, y'all. These are real numbers. But women don't necessarily have to do that. I believe you should find out how much these things make as far as these professions, because you knowing what's out there will help you in your journey. You knowing what's out there will help you in your journey. If you go freshwater fishing with squid on your hook, you most likely won't catch any freshwater fish. Most likely. You're using the wrong bait. Okay? You're using the wrong bait. You're trying to catch something with the wrong bait. And I think that's where self-awareness comes, and definitely knowing what's out there. So all of you that's searching for this $150,000 earner, 6'5", chiseled abs, square chin, bodacious beard black man. Of course, it's a 33-year-old black man, 35-year-old black man. That is a rare freaking person. I don't know why you think tall niggas grow on trees. Now, tall people, you may see it a lot, okay, in abundance. But now you have to find a tall person who you're attracted to, a tall person with the right background. As the lady said earlier, you got to be God-fearing. You got to be this. You got to be that. You got to be this. So these people are rare. I don't know why you think these people grow on trees. Let's try to wrap it up, though. We're going over time. Sorry, guys and girls.
For real.
We paying $2,000 or more.
Wow.
Okay, all right. So with the
Why are y'all paying $2,000 in rent?
search you came up with, right?
As of 2009,
Yeah,
the
OG
median
Pearl.
black
Wait,
male Okay, right, but this is what comes up at the top. This is
At least 2017.
We did a live Google search, man. Listen, the Chris Hall podcast live was awesome. Okay, we literally Googled something live on camera. That's how you know we was in it, boy. We was debating.
That's the most.
No, you're right. No, please just read that.
But at the top, when you first search this,
That's the most read. You put
Just run it.
as
Just run
of
it.
2009, the median black male income was
Even worse.
$23,738.
Even worse. You gotta do like 5 years.
Now, obviously, with inflation from 2009, it's a little bit higher now, but the fact still remains it hasn't gone that far. And like I said, with inflation, it's still the same at the end of the day.
How far have you black men have changed since 2009? I just
Okay, hold on, I'm doing it in 2021.
1970 now.
I want to hear what he has to say.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah, and this was about it's like the submitting as far as females submitting to men. See what, and I heard this a while ago. So these aren't my original thoughts. I'm just gonna add a little bit more to it. So women fail to realize like every great leader has to be a follower first. Men, every great man, we always had to submit. Whether it was a coach, you know, we submit ourselves openly. We trust this man blindly to get us to the championship. Like, it's the women that have a problem with trusting a man blindly. See, you guys want us to invest in you and then wait until we get our return. But you want your return immediately.
Exactly. I couldn't have said it any better. Is that women are wanting you to put forth all of this effort towards possibly getting submission from them. You'll hear women say, I submit to the right man, I do this, that, and the third. Any woman, now, hey, maybe I wasn't the right man. Who knows? Any woman who's ever said that, I've never seen her submit to anybody. Okay? But guess what? The women who don't say that submit to a man. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because we are here for your protection, provision, and profession. So that what is wrong with that? He made a very good point, is that women want all of this stuff up front before you might get a return on your investment. That's what men are tired of today, is that women, modern women, ask for so much when, mind you, we take most of the risk when it comes to marriage. You got it on the pregnancy part. I ain't mad at you. I'm not even going to play that game with you. You got it. But when it comes to marriage, men take the most risk. So why wouldn't we be in a dominant position? Okay. And like I said, stop going from Brian McKnight straight to Ike Turner. Let's have a little bit of in between with this. A man can still take the lead and respect you as the woman you are, as his wife. That's if you are a wife. Just because you get married don't make you no wife. And that works vice versa, but I don't care because I'm talking about you today, or tonight, should I say. Let's keep it going.
You see what I'm saying? That's the conflict. See, women refuse to submit blindly.
Yeah.
They want to see what we're going to do before I submit. But like, how much do we have to invest?
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. Exactly. And that's the problem as well, is that as you've seen, as you will see during most of these series, it's tough for a woman to stick to one thing, to put 10 toes down and this is what it is. It comes to a point where, because think about it, just like when it comes to when we're going to have sex. If you told a man 5 dates, he would sit and calculate, okay, I could do 5 dates, and he'd do it and see what happens. But no, you don't want to do that. Why? Because that takes the mystery out of it, the mystique from when a man is going to get in your draw. So he keeps putting out and putting out and putting out and putting out, spending on dates, time, this, that, and the third, in hopes that he gets laid. But he has no idea. And you won't tell him when. It's just whenever you get the feel.
So to that point, that goes back to what I said about, a guy is straddling the fence when he goes into dating because he's wanting to show that he can be the man for her, not knowing if she can be the wife for him.
So what's the point?
You know what I mean?
That goes back to the earlier question. Is it more advantageous for a man to look to be served or to serve a woman?
So time out real quick before we go any further. Our research has yielded
This is
2021.
39,024.
So you want a man making double the average amount.
Yes.
That's not average.
He's coming in the top 15. I think that puts him in the top 15%.
Why does he need a second job? You just said it's not about the money.
You
we back. So we came to the conclusion towards the end of the questionnaire, I guess. I mean, we the question was, what's a strong black woman? But we kind of got off on a tangent. But it all still played a major role in the question itself. But we finally came to we yielded an answer there, as Mike eloquently said, to where the average man makes about average black man makes about 40,000, close to 40,000 a year. And then once she found that out, and we let her know, hey, you actually want double the amount of an average man, what did she say? You, my friend, have to get another job. When earlier she said that the man who doesn't make a lot of money is the faithful one. And like I said, and I don't know if you know what? Let me not say that. I do know, because there's too many of y'all to be faking. I believe you all do this unconsciously. I believe that you all have been bred to think like this. It's called programming. It's actually not that hard at all. I didn't notice it, and I know I said this isn't a political channel, but I do follow politics. I don't talk a lot about it. I am going to start maybe I'll do another little segment of the Chris Hall Show till we bring other individuals that talk some more serious issues. But once I started following politics, that's when I found out how easy it is to brainwash masses of people. I did not know it was that easy, but it's programming. And I think you all have been programmed so good that it's difficult to reprogram you to think differently. And that goes with anybody. It's tough once you've been programmed some way to reprogram somebody to believe something else. That's tough, man. That is tough, to where still even though she said the money doesn't matter, when you made 40,000, that was a problem. You needed 2 jobs at that point. But that is the average man. So this proved to you all that no matter all this love shit, this, that, and the third, fellas, listen to me and listen to me good. Stay out of relationships until you are making a certain amount of money. Okay? Until you are making, I'm going to say $75,000 a year consistently, I wouldn't even bother dating modern women today. I wouldn't even, not seriously. I understand you a man and you got to get your rocks off. I'm a man and I got to get mines off too. You hear me? So I understand. But I wouldn't do it. You just seen it. Live and living color. And you're going to see a lot more. What the hell wrong? Am I drunk? Golly. Anywho, I hope that y'all enjoyed the Chris Hall Show tonight as we reviewed one of the episodes from the live show, one of the ones in the series that we're dropping. This is going to drop in its entirety tonight, this live YouTube. And then right after that, or at the same time, I don't know when it comes out, who knows? But I'll be releasing that video of what is a strong black woman really, so you can watch on your own without my commentary. And that's it. That's all. Make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Give me a thumbs up. Hit the notification bell so you are notified anytime I drop some new content. We are also streaming. Oh, yeah. We're also streaming live the Chris Hall podcast on all streaming platforms. You can go download it. Get that today. That's it. That's all. I'm Chris Hall, and I'm out.